I got back on medicine today, instead of shopping, started that 4 5, give it 75. He told me this, he would.
Where do you own that now? Where do you own? I mean,
That church, Yeah, and
All right, let's just get this started. All right, sorry about that. All right. This meeting's called to order. All right, let's start out by doing our pledge of allegiance. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's do a quick prayer while you're there. God, thank you for another day. Thank you for keeping us safe. From hurt, harm, and danger, Lord God. Lord God, we ask you to continue to be with us throughout the meeting, Lord God. We ask you to bless everyone in here. We ask you to bless all the people of Randall, the citizens, Lord God. Lord God, we ask you to just continue to bless us, Lord God, and be with us in whatever we do for the town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, we're going to do a roll call. Right
Mayor Ford Creech,
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Robin Connor. Here. Commissioner Doug Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Ronnie Wallace.
Here.
Commissioner Andy Wachter. Here. Commissioner Shabbat present.
Okay, Can we do an adoption? We'll do an adoption of the
Before we make
agenda?
the adoption agenda, I'll make a motion to add a resolution for the town to apply for a grant from the state.
Agenda item 14, if you want to.
We want to add to, yeah,
Move
make
that.
an agenda item 14 for
Yes,
new business?
yes.
Okay. All right, any a second on that?
What was it for?
The, agenda item he added was,
Do a study on the water and sewer lines for 2026.
Water and sewer AIA
The AIA.
resolution, which is just an intent to apply for funding, is all. It's not a commitment to anything. But
We don't
do-
supply their water, right? Do we supply their water, it's not?
it's not what that is. I can explain it when we get to it, but it's
Okay.
essentially the state's giving out grant money to do inventory on your water and sewer line.
Okay.
And we would need, if this group was interested, we'll get to it, to seek funding, the state requires a resolution that says, we want to seek funding, to see that the board's committed to, so that's all it is.
so is there a, so you want to restate that, for the motion to add that to the,
All I have is,
I'm sorry?
all I have to the agenda.
Yes.
Number 14.
Okay,
No, second.
all right. All right, all in favor on that? Okay, all right, the ayes have it. So let's, let's move on to the, comments from the attendees. Do we have anybody?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda with the addition added to it.
Oh, well, I thought that's what you had, we added to add that, that's right.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? No one on the committee, then? Okay, let's go over the old business. Adoption of the July 9, 2026 regular meeting, minutes from the, regular board meeting. So, I looked at this a few days ago, I didn't see any, issues in it, did the, commissioner see it?
I'll make a motion to adopt the
I
July
second.
minutes as written.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, all opposed, I didn't see any opposers. Okay. All right, old business, speed bumps on, Jocelyn Drive discussion. Just one moment. Okay, Charlie, do you wanna lead us into that discussion?
Happy to, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so the board members from last month, we had some residents come and express some concerns that there was speeding going on Jocelyn, and basically asked for kind of two paths forward that maybe the town could assist with. So one was like an increased police presence, so we've done that over the past month and made sure that we were taking a look at the compliance and making sure everybody was following the speed limit. That actually led into a much bigger discussion, which is the next agenda item about speed limits, but we'll come back to that. One of the things that was asked by this board of staff from last month was to get a quote around speed bumps and potentially put them on Jocelyn Drive. So CJR, our public works director, is here. What we did was we put kind of so you have an email in your packet that shows the quote. What we also did was put a little map together for everybody that may be sitting here. Obviously, they're not steel speed bumps aren't the size of 4 houses in a row, but this is in theory where they would be put. That power to install and appropriate funds for speed bumps and install the speed bumps themselves lies on the board. So we're happy to answer any questions. CJ's here about the quote, but it's whatever the board's appetite is at this point. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
And it's not, just if I may add one more thing, you can do 1, you can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 2. It's whatever the board, it's not, doesn't have to be accepted as proposed, that's just to get some numbers for you that we were asked to provide, so that's all.
So could you refresh the board and say how many people came and wanted speed bumps on Joshua?
Yeah, 2 came and represented, and they had a petition. How many, you were representing, do you remember how many people were on that petition?
60 something. I know we got, more signatures than we actually needed.
Yeah,
To get those.
so a substantial amount, I think, would be a kind way, but, yeah. So it's in the board's hands to do whatever you want.
Mr. Mayor?
So
Make a-
the 5 here, how many feet are they?
They're roughly between 300 and 500 feet. What I did is, you have to be careful when you put speed bumps, you don't want them in curves. But what I tried to do, I added a fit point at the playground to slow people down. And what I also have paid attention to, and then the people of the community, if you live on the streets or you sit there and you are in between speed bumps, as soon as people go over speed bumps, they go as fast as they can to get to the next one and slam on brakes and go over. And then the more you put in, the more they have to slow down. So you try to put them, I try to put them about every 300 to 500 feet.
Usually under hours.
And that'd be something we would have to adjust.
And there are some scientific traffic studies that do show that if you put like a straight stretch of road, and if it was wide open compared to if you put 7 speed bumps, that people actually reach a higher speed in between speed bumps, trying to make up the theory, would be assumed would be make up a lost time. So all just things to consider.
Well, I'll make a motion to go with the quote that Mr. Harper has presented to us with the 5 speed bumps. And also just ask him, could he make a cutout in the speed bumps for the fire trucks to go over through. It's actually wider than a car's tires, so that way we can do that.
So that's motion, that's,
Sorry, can you say that again? What's the cutout?
Yeah, you take the fire truck, the back tires, the width of the back tire of the fire truck, and you make cutouts in the speed bumps. So we're going for emergency call, we'll have to slow down to jump over the speed bumps. When you slow down, just don't slow down to basically, back and a complete stop fire truck, not just gonna sling all your equipment sideways and tear your truck up.
Chief, is that the same issue with your police cars? Chief Longford, is that the same issue with your police cars, the speed bumps,
No, we have to slow down more on the cars.
the height? Right, you was talking about the height?
I'm not talking height, I'm talking about the actual driving over in the fire truck. Our suspension in the fire truck is a lot different than suspension in a police car, or a regular vehicle.
so if you were driving down the street, Commissioner Dillon, the road was like this, there would be a portion here and a portion here with a break. And that's where the fire truck could navigate.
There would be not enough room for a vehicle to go through it wide open. Sure, I'll present that in the motion.
Does that change the cost?
Actually, just less, yes, that's fine.
Let's ask them.
Okay, so, the motion on the floor is to adopt or to, proceed with the purchase.
Yes.
Okay? Can we get a second on the motion? Second. All right, all in favor?
I got a question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm
I
sorry.
do apologize.
My question is then, if it's gonna be less asphalt, would that not lower the cost? So the cost will not be this
It'll be, it's
4125.
not gonna be no more for,
will be no more.
yeah, that's the quote, so whatever we do is not gonna be more than that. If it's less, this company doesn't pay for utility cuts there, that's something. He's gonna work with it, it's not as much asphalt as what he uses, not gonna charge for that stuff.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I know we might have went out a little order on that. Okay, we still have the motion, we have to already motion.
Yeah, you approved it.
To redo it, have to redo it?
No, you already voted to approve it.
Okay.
The question came out.
All right, so, but I didn't see the vote. We said that, I said all in favor of this?
Yeah.
Everybody was in agreement on it? Okay, all right. So we can move forward with, purchasing these speed bumps, 5 speed bumps. All right, let's move on to the business. Item number 8. Mountain View, Spencer Heights, Woodside speed limit discussion. Charles, can you lead us into that one?
Happy to do that, Mr. Mayor. This is another one of those cases that I'm really proud of staff and community for working together. When we were looking at Jocelyn and looking at now the Ranlo that goes all the way through, and we started driving around, we realized that the signage is pretty inconsistent through Mountain View, Spencer Heights, and Woodside, kind of the neighborhood at large, if you will. Like if you come in the backside through Nightingale, it says neighborhood wide 25 mile an hour speed limit. Then 50 feet past that, it's 15. And then there's some roads that aren't posted. And we have an ordinance that says if the road's not posted, it's 35. And so we drove through, we're like, holy moly, this is inconsistent, and how can we possibly enforce speed limit if it's not consistent? So this is just a problem that's always existed, but we said, you know what, let's put our heads together and let's figure it out. So similar to how we did with speed humps in like Spencer Heights, we wanted to reach out to the community, because we didn't want to just come staff, when I say we didn't want to just come to staff and say, this is what we think, decide. So last week, or the week before, was last week? We had a meeting, was it last week?
Yeah.
Whatever it was. We met with the presidents of the HOAs of Mountain View, Spencer Heights, and Woodside. We sat in this room and just brainstormed. So this is what we got going on. It's difficult. We don't know how to help. We can't as much. It's inconsistent. Everybody probably has the same idea, same mindset. And then we kind of just put our heads together. So after that meeting, and what we wanted to do, the goal of that meeting was to come out with a recommendation from all of the HOAs and staff to give to this board about consistency across speed limits. So, and our representatives from the neighborhoods are here in some fashion, but I'll kind of just make the kind of pitch here, is that all of the communities, as well as staff, as public works, as police, have recommended that the board consider drafting an ordinance to make everything within Mountain View, Spencer Heights, and Woodside 15 miles an hour. That way it's consistent. There's nothing that wouldn't be not posted. There's nothing that would say 25, that would say 15. It would be 15 across all 3 different communities. And what that would mean for this board was that we would need to procure signage. So speed limit signs, we're talking about the U-channel posts that they go on. We also talked about, well, if there's any streets that are no parking streets, our ordinances say that there has to be a sign in there that posted for that. So we would have put, or we would put, the no parking on any of those signs where the no parking streets exist, right? So really taking kind of like a problem that's just kind of always existed, it's never really been fixed, and saying, let's be proactive about this, let's work with the community, let's get the input, and then kind of come up with what we think. So and when I say our now, I mean the communities and staff, recommendation would be to the board that we would essentially, and I think after talking to our attorney about it, what we would look for is the board to instruct staff to draft an ordinance to make all the streets within those 3 portions of the neighborhood in Mountain View as a whole, all 15 mile an hour streets. We would get signage for each, and if it's a no parking street, we would also post that as well. Happy to answer any questions, and we have the community members that are here. Also, if you wanted to see the support from them as well, but that would be the request of the board. It can be in your hands at this point.
I have a comment there. Me personally, we have 2 major roads posted 35 or above. So my suggestion would be to drop the ordinance for the whole entire town to be 15 mile an hour unless posted otherwise. Because you got some of these areas that's 25 mile an hour, and that's 20 mile an hour is too fast for some of the streets we have, and a kid runs up front of his cars, and, 15 mile an hour, the chance they're not gonna have time to stop either, but the impact's a little better than 25, 30 mile an hour, 35 mile an hour.
And CJ, I think, if I may, Mr. Mayor, I think you kind of worked up some rough numbers. I'm putting you on the spot about U-channel posts and speed limit signs based on it's called the MUTCD, it's the Municipal Uniform Traffic Code, manual, whatever. It's the book for where to put street signs, how many of them, and CJ kind of did some math on what would it cost to put all the signs in, because they would have to be posted, including some of those you can get it.
So I went back and looked at our ordinance. Every street in all the HOAs are no parking, even the small side streets, everything's are no parking. So what I did, I went and I got on my measuring, app, and, the speed limit signs, the recommended spacing between them is 300 and 500 feet. So I went with 300 feet, which means you put the notice up every 300 feet, speed limit 15, that come up to 80 signs for the whole, 80 speed limit signs, 80 no parking signs, because what I do is where I start putting signs, I put one going this way and one on the other side of the road going the other way, so you know. So there's plenty of signs to know, hey, it's 15 miles an hour. And I contacted my vendor, and for all the hardware, you're looking at roughly $9,500 for
Just for that project there?
Yes.
that, and that's all the streets inside the 3 HOAs.
And I have to give credit to the police department, even though Chief's back there, they were kind of the ones that really spearheaded and said, you know, this is a major issue. You know, it's inconsistent across the neighborhood. So then once we, and also shout out to all the community leaders that came out and were immediately like, yeah, let's talk about it. And we were able to leave that meeting with a unanimous recommendation for this board. So it's, I will say too, it was unanimous. There wasn't anybody that said, you know what, well, we really want 10, we really want 25. We all kind of said, yeah, 15 seems like a good idea, so that would be it. And you're good. Anything else to add, Chief? Okay.
Can we add Randall Avenue to it? The whole entire Randall Avenue? And so you have one speed limit sign at the top,
At 25.
at 25, you get halfway down, it's going to change it, because there's no.
Yeah, so right now, if you're at Kingsway, you go down the new Randall part, there's a 25 there, and then there's not another sign. So really, it can be 25 all the way through and down into the neighborhood, because it's not posted again. Right, so in theory, the board could consider, when we talk about drafting the ordinance, one of the things that would have to be discussed is you put it where, at the end of the new extension, or you just run it up to Kingsway and make that a 15 down.
Like, see, like a 15 keeps going down.
None of the Kings State roads.
I have a question. What about the, you counted the signs that we need? What about, you also count the signs that are already there?
No, man, we're going to remove all of them and make everything uniform and up to code.
So you can take down the signs we have now? Okay. Thank you.
So that manual has a lot of specifics that have to happen, like signs have to be retro-reflective for retro-reflectorization, which is the longest word I think I know how to say. And then like this, the sizing for DOT specifics, so we would just make it uniform across. But that's a lot of words and a lot of discussion. I think in a perfect world, what we would be looking to do is give this recommendation to you, and then if it was in your interest to do this, our attorney said the best way forward would be to instruct staff to draft an ordinance stating all this, and then we can look at it next month. Yeah.
I know it's been surrounding heights, we already have the 15 miles an hour speed limit, so we're good there, but we definitely like the sign.
Bring the vote on the motion, or?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to instruct the staff to move forward with these, 3 developments and add Randall Avenue to the top.
Now, second.
Really good. Did he add that extra part to it, or?
To add Randall Avenue, to finish Randall Avenue, because Randall Avenue runs into the subdivision, make it all continuous all the way up to the Smith Road.
Okay, so is it, just to be clear, to instruct staff to develop an ordinance to make it 15 miles per hour?
15 mile per hour in these 3 neighborhoods, and to finish out Randall Avenue to the top of the road. Finish Mount Road to the cul-de-sac.
25 years, 8 years. So he's supposed to make this until it's yes. Okay, so then,
That's my motion. Thank you.
Okay, can I get a second on that motion? All right, all in favor? Okay, no opposers? All right. Okay, community building update and discussion. So we want to have a discussion on, I know you guys have already kind of spoke to me about the community building. So we would just want to have a quick discussion on this, or lengthy discussion, hopefully not too lengthy, on the community building. We obviously know that it needs a whole lot of work. CJ has done some definitely, he's already shown us some stuff that needs to be done. It's, do you want to turn it over to CJ or to talk about it? Or do you want?
I'll do a little intro and then CJ can chime in. And again, like you said, Mr. Mayor, I don't think this should be too long a conversation, but we know that our buildings that we rent out are near and dear to our residents. So anytime there's a disturbance, like where it's temporarily closed, or if we have to potentially make some decisions around renovations or closing or whatever, we want to make sure we do that in public so everybody gets to see what's going on. And want to just bring to everybody's attention kind of what's going on with the building. So I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen so that way you can see it and also people at home can see it. I know I've heard some comments about things like, well, you know, kind of stuff like this that happened overnight. Some of these things we were in having meetings the day before, and then we come back, this is the floor underneath the door. Some of the things, if it's happening behind the threshold or behind the wall, you know, we can't necessarily see all the things that are happening. So what we did was, we hate to have to do it, but we temporarily closed it just based on some of the safety issues that we see, right? So this is the floor, and mind you, this is from years and years and years ago, but it's showing its face now. So what we'll be looking tonight is I'm going to kind of get some discussion around what we see. CJ took these pictures, going to tell you what's going on, and then what we would hope to get from the board is a direction forward on what we want to do with the building, or how much we want to spend, or what it may be. So this is the floor where the front door meets the building. CJ, why don't you talk to the pictures? You're a smarter fellow than I am.
So it all started, we were changing the locks out on the door, and we went to shut the door, and the door would not shut. And we did some adjustments on the ends that forced the door shut, and it was still sticking. And then when we got the door to shut, then we realized it wasn't latching, because when the latch went in, it had a gap about that far. And we stepped back and looked, the door jamb was this way and going that way. And so we did some investigation in the flashing, and the door flashing there. When we went to unscrew it, to pull it up, it wasn't screwed enough, because the wood wasn't there. So when we pulled it up, when the deck was installed in '07, and when they installed it, they flooded the deck up all the way up against the building. Most of the time when you put a deck in, you leave a little bit of space so water can drain. So for the last 20 years, 19 years, all the water has just been running up against the walls, and it has rotted out. The entire deck is structurally rotted out.
We keep going through the pictures, that way you can describe it.
And once we started digging out rotten wood, we quit, because the more you dig, the more you find. That was from a leak on the roof, but we had the roof repaired about 1.5 years ago. You see where the door frame is split from where the floor is sunk. That's bad joints that are rotting out in the ramp. And the ramp is starting to get the darkest to rot. And you can see some where the temporary fixes have been made, but it's just time is finally took its toll, and that's a completely right through. You can see under the deck, the handrails are pulling off after we started looking, and there's a good, you see how the door to your right is all sunk, because the floor has rotted and started giving way.
Right here, right there, yes.
Do we have a possibility of maybe a grant? Grant's what took care of it the first time. So is there something like that we might look into to help?
CJ, you want to finish up the picture, then we can talk about direction forward?
These are your main joist holding that supports the deck. That picture shows the right on the side of it, but there's another picture where you can see the entire joist right there is rotted out through. So, and all the people that have been on that deck, I am surprised it ain't fell in from the weight, because there's no integrity left in that joist. And structurally, I don't feel safe letting anybody else walk on, since we know it's that bad now. And there's a actual pillar and the joist that's rotted out, that's structurally
And
insane.
so we didn't want to just obviously make any unilateral decisions, we wanted to have this discussion with the board because it has financial implications. It has implications on people who maybe rent out that building. So we kind of just wanted to, more of an informational type kind of briefing right now, where kind of here's the situation, and then let the board kind of think about, you know, do we want to keep it closed? I think our recommendation, as much as we hate to say it, just because of safety issues, would be yes, we take that now knowing that somebody get hurt, God forbid. And then the board to kind of maybe start putting together some thoughts on direction forward. You know, you could knock it down, you could make renovations, you could, you know, fix it, you could put a new deck, you could take the deck out. I think there's a lot of things to consider, and obviously all have different financial implications, but we just want to make sure you have that info, and just let you know this is kind of where we are with the building. It's unfortunate, but it's reality of it.
CJ, do you remember how long ago it was renovated?
The only thing I can remember was in '07, the deck. I don't know how long it's been since the actual building was renovated.
And that sounds, I was on the board, that sounds about right.
It was
The whole time.
the whole thing.
2007.
Yes.
Because that was the same time the Zebra was around.
I would like to see them get a quote on the scope of practice we need and bring it back. Because I don't see tearing it down, because the community building is a good asset to have for the citizens that can't afford to rent a lodge. It's a cheaper rent for a community building. And, it's right there beside the park, so you have your birthday party in there and you go to the park. And so I'd like to see us get a quote and see what it's gonna take to fix it. And, I mean, get 3 quotes or whatever we get and make it apples to apples, you know, not one person doing something different, just a turnkey, one company do it all.
And what CJ's done is put that together, essentially, we didn't, and it was never my recommendation to knock it down, it's just in the world of possibilities, it's this and this, right? So CJ kind of thinking ahead, thinking that this board would probably be interested in seeing how much things would cost, put essentially this bid package together. So with the board blessing, we'll basically go out and see if we can get some bids on very specifically, you know, what we would need, like you said, Commissioner, apples to apples, we wouldn't want, you know, saying, well, will this contractor do flooring, this contractor? You know, clear, inside, transparent. Yeah.
And that's what that bid's for, and I went in and gave fine detail what we would be looking for from composite decking instead of real wood to, if you find rot, this is what, for full-blown restoration of this building. That's what that scope is for.
What about the inside of this building?
That's what,
Interior full level.
Yeah, he's got interior and exterior,
so the roof is a 1.5 years old and the air conditioning is a 1 year old on the building.
what other uses, what other uses for the building?
Most of the time, it's full on every weekend for birthday parties.
Okay.
And there's always 20+ people there. When it's full, the parking lot's full, they're having a good old time. And like I said, I'm very surprised that that deck is held up from how many people I've seen on that.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mayor, if I can tie it all up, I think what we would be looking for is kind of 2 things. If the board is interested in us seeking bids and getting some prices, a vote to instruct staff to go get some prices, and then, if the board is comfortable with reopening it or keeping it temporarily closed, which is what we have right now in the meantime.
I will keep it closed.
Yeah, I'll second
I
that.
don't see any no's, seems like everybody's kind of yes on that. Okay, and then if we could just have if the board wants to, a vote to instruct staff, essentially CJ, to solicit bids, then we can come back next month and talk about numbers.
Can we also be looking for grant opportunities?
100%, and I'm glad that you said that, because I kind of was meaning to come back to that. We can explore grant opportunities in the meantime. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Can we get a motion
I'll make a
to?
motion that we get some bids. We need 3 Need 3
Yeah,
bids.
we'll follow our procurement manual that tells us if it's within X amount of range, we either get formal, informal, we'll follow our procurement manual and come back to this board with them. That way you guys can make an informed decision.
I say,
All right,
So just to clarify, the motion is to get bids and temporarily close the building.
Yes. Yeah.
Indefinitely.
If we'll make sure it's closed, don't need any kids or anybody on it, we just look at.
Okay.
It's like they heard.
we have a motion on the floor.
I say,
We have a second, all in favor? All right, no opposers? All right. Okay, let's move on to item number 10. Experience Committee appropriation, request, discussion. So you have an Experience Committee appropriation, request, discussion. So is, Mr. Drew Horan available? Yeah, there he is.
We're not gonna have a drunk party. So, we're on item 10, and so this is not a video, it's the appropriation request.
And Mr. Horan, do you want me to set the table a little bit to remind everybody where we are, or are you gonna handle that?
You can, but I think I'm gonna be pretty brief.
You got it.
So, and, are you gonna talk about the numbers? Will be, if the basics of it, and all right, so, last month, or a couple months ago, we came here, asking the board to consider an additional appropriation for the Experience Committee, for the town events, after seeking out, pricing information and other pieces, to the puzzle to get a realistic looking, budget for the committee. Last month, you all voted on not to approve that appropriation. And so we came back and revisited our numbers, took a look at everything, and decided at this time we go ahead and try to work within the allocated budget. And then if we start seeing things getting tighter at the end of the year, we may come back and revisit that at that time. But at this time, we feel like we can make events happen. We might not have a lot of the extras that we were hoping to have, but we will be working within the budget that's already allocated. Ms. Love has some numbers to kind of let you know where we're at right now.
Okay, so far, hello, everybody. So far, we have, right now, what we have in budget is $42,704.77. So this is going to carry us roughly from the August 21st Middletown Nights, and partially, I say partially to the parade because we don't have everything booked as of yet. So we started out with $42,704.77. And like I said, all the way up until the parade partially being booked. And the total expenses will be $30,402.82, which will leave us with $12,301. So basically, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what we have planned so far. We're going to have a field day for August 21st for that Middletown night, so it's going to be like tug of war and all that kind of things that we're going to do. We have a DJ that's going to be there. He's going to attempt to do karaoke, depends on the lighting on the screen, because he'll have a camera and TV screen so the kids can see themselves dancing and singing or whatever like that. We have a tattoo artist that's going to be there. When I say tattoo, it's temporary pen tattoo. And we also will have a juggler there, and we have about 4 vendors that's going to be there. I'm not exactly sure which one, but Ms. Spicer knows that information. And then going on from there for the Thanksgiving meal for the seniors, we have budgeted out roughly $500 for the entire meal to feed everyone that's going to be shipped there, based off of the numbers from last year. Then we also, during that meal, we plan on having a comedian named Jack Jack. And he is supposed to be a clean comedian. We're going to double check, but if he's not clean enough for the church, we'll get another one. But we plan on having a comedian there. And we also going to have opportunity for the seniors to make briefs during that, so that way they're not just eating, they have something to do. So we're gonna have a itinerary to kind of, give them something to do, so it's not just eating, they can socialize. Okay, and then for, I skipped all over Fall Festival, I'm sorry, that's the biggest expense. The Fall Festival, we're gonna use TC Amusement to get the rides in. We also reached out to Lineburgers to try to get a hay ride. I haven't got the numbers on that yet, but we're gonna get 100 pumpkins from them so the kids can decorate, paint the pumpkins during that time. We're gonna have, I forgot how many rides, but the rides compared to last year's budget was $25,610 to be exact. So we're gonna try to steer that budget, maybe cut it back a little bit. So that's that, and then for the parade, I'm all over the place, but for the parade, I gotta get this out. I work for Freightliner. They have said they will bring our trucks out. So normally we take out 3 trucks. So preferably we'll have the 3 trucks. It'll be what's called an M2, which is they have. So you'll have that one, and we call it Brownie. And it has a sound system and everything on there. But then normally we bring out what they call sleeper cabs, which you take on long distance and stuff like that. So we should get that one as usual. And then another one, we might have one, say, a utility truck or something like that. It just depends, but it have logos and stuff like that. But we do have to be careful. We know everybody want to touch and look. But that particular truck, that's going to be a customer's truck. They really don't want you to touch it, but it'll be in the parade. And also, we plan on having Sir Her and the Top Cats will be there. Stilt Walkers, this is in the parade. Stilt Walkers in the parade. And that's about it. But going back to the August 21st, I'm part of Freightliner, which is UAW, my union, and they donated back to school supplies for us. So that's definitely the help on that. And that's pretty much it. So basically, we're gonna have $12,101 to carry us over. The only concern I have with not getting extra money, I don't think we need it at this moment, but when it comes time for us to do the things that we need to book for July, we might need a little buffer in there. Because if we're gonna do fireworks, that's a big expense. So we're gonna need somebody to kind of carry us over to get those fireworks in. Or a laser show. Or a laser show. Or a laser show. But it's still gonna be expensive, so, yeah. And is that how y'all want me to speak on just the main part right there? Are we gonna get up again to give the other?
Or can we go into the committee report next, or is there anything that we need to do?
Well, it sounds like your budget's gonna be pretty much used up in October.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. I think you should spend what you have and then come back if, you need some additional. I agree with that.
I have one question. Are there any fees or costs for the rides and things like that?
That's the big part of the budget. And we're gonna, last year.
Do you mean for the residents?
Yes.
Oh, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
We always have until last year. It wasn't much tickets, money wise, but we always charge for the rides,
It's going on in Benford.
buying tickets.
Is the vendors that come out, you charging them now, or is it still free for them to?
It's still free for them at this time until we sit down and look at what we're gonna do for 2027. So we do anything else? Doing our report now or no?
That's at the board's discretion.
We do our report?
That's the next on the agenda, so they're going to start.
Let me start with this.
Did you have, is there anything else I know you said, this is more of a appropriation request discussion, so you're just saying what you're possibly gonna do as far as, if you need more money, you're just making us aware that you're pretty much out in October and, that you may need to.
We're making you aware of the situation. We have not yet planned what the events are for 2027.
Yeah.
Or what those dates are. So in an upcoming committee meeting, we'll be having those discussions. But we'll know pretty much what we have to start the year 2020, the calendar year 2027. And, but the events prior to the end of the fiscal year are I guess, lighter weight events than the ones after the beginning of the fiscal year.
Okay. All right, sounds like we are aware of that. So, yeah, let's move on to, thank you so much.
and you can stay up there, obviously, if that's okay with, Commissioner Hill. But yeah, so let's go into the committee updates, item number 11. Commissioner Hill, do you want to, I guess Drew was already up there, do you want to call him up?
And I'm gonna yield to Ms. Love for a moment.
Okay, for our last meeting, these are some of the plans that we made. We have decided to cut out at least, we wanted to go down to just 4 events, one for each season. So instead of having so many, so that way we can have time to plan and make them nicer and try to advertise more to get more people out. But we did vote to lose we voted to not do one in August because of having
Of
the national.
2027.
2027, this is
We're talking about
2027.
the coming-
Not to do one that month because of the national night out. So that way, instead of us trying to do something that's like back to back to back, let's let them have that one. And also not to do anything in June. Because, last year, Ms. Tasha White came in and wanted to do Juneteenth. So that'll give us some time in between. So that's what we came up with so far on the 2027 calendar. We're still working on it, but we definitely want to get rid of those two. So that way it's not just putting it together and then it's not being a flop. Because if she do Ebony Fest again here on that Saturday before, we might not get a good turnout like we did for Juneteenth. So that's why we came up with that.
Okay.
Go ahead. That's all I have to say.
All right, so, one thing.
They go to Saturdays. We decided to, instead of doing Friday nights, because people working and trying to get home, we voted to change it from Friday nights to Saturday. So that way everybody can come home and get up that morning and be ready to have a good time. We can just have an all-day event versus somebody trying to get out from work at 5 and you in Charlotte, you're gonna get here at 7 and you only got an hour. So we changed it to Saturdays.
You changed what? Explain that.
The Middletown nights, instead of being on Friday nights, it will be on Saturdays. Our events will be held on Saturdays. So that way you get people that's actually working, and that's what the ones comes from Charlotte, Denver, and other places, and out of Gaffney, and Spartanburg, stuff like that. Give them time to, come home on Friday, rest, and be ready to come out on Saturday.
All right, so, as you can see, our committee's been up to a lot lately. But I did want to report on some of the events the event that we just had and the upcoming event, and some other things happening in our committee. So, July 17th, Middletown Night was a big success. We had our biggest crowd of the season, hundreds of residents on that beautiful evening. There was a car show that anchored the night with roughly 35 vehicles. And we had inflatables, a strong turnout of food trucks and vendors, live music from the gift, and fireworks to close the evening. Special thank you to Mr. Mark Connor for organizing the car show, and to the Potter's House for providing volunteers in our children's area. Volunteer coverage was a gap that I flagged for this board in July, and their support closed that gap. 2 issues that we had during that event. We had some sound equipment problems with the music, and a portion of the fireworks did not deploy as expected, which shortened the display. So we're working with the fireworks vendor to see if we can get some restitution for that, and I'll report back once that's solved. Both were minor against the scale of the night. Neither one affected safety, and we're treating them as lessons and tightening our vendor checks. August 21st, Middletown Night coming up, and we, as kind of our back to school bash, we decided to make it like a family field day. We will have games and competitions for all ages, DJ, food trucks, inflatables, vendors. These are going to be events that people in the town, adults and kids, can participate in together. So it's just going to be a fun night. You can either come as a spectator or come as a participant, and it's just going to be a blast for everybody. event information will go out on the town's social media channels and was already in the water bills if you read the colored paper in your water bill. And of course, admission is free and everybody is welcome to attend. And food and vendors will be selling their wares available for purchase. On a sadder note, our colleague Zion McKenzie has resigned from the committee due to a change in his work schedule. Zion was one of our original appointees in February, and his input and energy will definitely be missed. He intends to keep supporting our events as a resident, and we're grateful for the time that he gave us. But that leaves one open seat on our 7-member committee, so I wanted to announce that publicly. You know, from our perspective, we're looking for somebody excited about Grand Willow's potential, motivated to make our events everything that they can be. Interested residents can submit an interest form through the town manager's office, and I would ask the board's help in getting the word out about that. And then finally, you know, again, we're not asking for additional funds tonight, and so we're going to try to make it work with what we've got. So our committee meets on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. at the lodge. I'm sorry, there's a typo in your notes there that I just noticed. It's at 7 p.m. at the lodge on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month. We welcome community input and encourage residents to get involved. I've seen a lot of comments on the landlord chatter about, hey, why don't they do this at events? And I'm like, come to our meetings. We would be glad to hear your input. So, thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Ryan. Okay, I'll play it off once to one.
I don't see Daryl with public safety, and I don't see the community resource. However, they are hosting an event on August 27th. At what time? I think it starts at 10:30. It's gonna be bingo. I believe it's here at the lodge.
Okay.
Is on the Facebook, Town Regular Facebook page. There's more information there, but it's gonna be bingo here the 27th.
Tuesday, August 27th, 10:30 to 11:30.
10:30, 11:30. And I believe Department of Health and Human Services will be here discussing what opportunities that they have for the senior community and resources.
Okay. All right, is that all the reports?
Diane, are you guys meeting yet? Are you guys meeting yet? Not yet? Okay. That's it.
That's everybody. Okay. All right, so let's move on to item number 12. Consideration of budget amendment 2627.2. So in this action, the board will consider approving the budget amendment. All right? Pull that budget amendment up. Here we go. All right. So we have a budget amendment by the town. So Charlie, what we have here is you have section 1 to amend the general fund. Estimated revenues are to be changed as follows. The other revenues, we're suggesting an increase for other revenues in general fund revenue. You're suggesting an increase of $2,190. Section 2, to amend the general fund, the appropriations are to be changed as follows. For the community policing, you're suggesting an increase of $2,000. Event supplies, you're suggesting a $190 increase. Says this budget amendment is to move receive donations into a correct expenditure line items to be expended. This includes the 2,000 police raised with calendars and 190 the event committee game from the car show. All right. Section 3, you have copies of the budget amendment shall be furnished to the clerk of the board of commissioners, the budget officer, and the finance director. So, we need to vote on this.
I make a motion to approve the budget ordinance FY 26-27 amendment for the general fund expenses in 21-9.
Okay, do we have a second on this? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I add a comment just before?
Sure, absolutely.
we call the vote? Just for the people that may be here in the audience, just to make it a little bit more layman's terms, because this is very government sounding. We got donations in from the car show and from the police calendar. What that is just receiving these donations and then appropriating the expenditure lines. It's just bookkeeping, just make sure that was clear, yeah.
Right.
So we're not asking for more money, they just took in donations, put it somewhere. That's all, sorry.
Right, and totaling up, yeah.
So we're still balanced, yes, sir.
Yeah. Right, so you had to balance your, revenues versus your expenditures, 2190. Okay. All right, we have one motion on the floor to amend, and we have a second on this? To amend this
I
budget?
say,
I make a motion to amend the budget.
Okay, there's the
I
motion to
second.
amend, and a second, all in favor? All right, I don't see any opposers. Okay. Let's move on to item number 13, presentation of the monthly financial report. Charlie, you want to present that for us?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We're obviously just 2 months into the new fiscal year, so what you have before you is our, just like always, front page is all of our different accounts and our different overall finances, including the interest rate. Second page is kind of a year-to-date percentage of the general operating budget. There's nothing to report, no action needs to be taken, just take that in as information, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, looks like we're early on in it, so the percentage spent looks pretty good, looks very good, so we're early on in, so the percentage of the budget spent is low, so. All right, does anyone have anything they want to say about the budget, or any questions? All right, okay, well, I am going to move on to the other business. We have the town manager's report. Charlie?
We have the number 14.
You guys do what?
New
The
resolution.
AI resolution.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, I should have typed that in. Okay, yes, so Charlie, you want to lead us into that
Yeah,
discussion?
this will be very brief. Happy to do it. So the
Okay.
state, every couple of years, gives out rounds of funding for what's called like water and sewer AIA, asset inventory assessment, where we can essentially get state grant money to come in. We've already actually done this with water, this is to do even more. Basically, get a look at our assets, look at our pipes, where are the manholes, size of pipes, all those things, which is crucial in building a future capital improvement plan or CIP plan. So it's basically building a foundation for how we can make sure that we're staying on top of our infrastructure over the next 50 to 70 years. It's a big deal and it's awesome because the state pays for most of it. So we've already taken advantage of this, probably 2023, I think was probably the last time, 2022, I was close, and getting the last round. The state is opening up a new round of funding where we could potentially get, anywhere up to, a small number like 100,000 or even close to $500,000 in state funding. It requires a 15% local match. If that's that number, it's probably close to $60,000, $70,000, but we would get $500,000 worth of work. This is not committing to any of that. That's just the context. What the state does require, because the deadline to submit your application for that funding is the end of September, the state requires a resolution that basically says, we intend to fund or intend to seek funding from the state. I think the state wants to see that this board is unanimous, or at least the majority to say, okay, this is something that we want to pursue. And when I talked to the mayor about, should we put this on the September meeting, the mayor said, why would we drag our feet on bringing funding here, which I agree with that sentiment. So that's why we put this on last minute. It's just a resolution to say that this board is interested in seeking some state funding to help us get an asset inventory of all of our water and sewer infrastructure. I'm happy to answer any questions, but we would just need to adopt a resolution to tell the state that wants money.
All right, we adopt the resolution, do we need to, vote on this to move forward?
To adopt, if the board is interested.
Okay, so, do I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
I make such a motion.
All right, do I have a second? Second. All right, all in favor? All right, yep. I don't think anybody doesn't want more money.
Can I ask, where would that money, 15%, where would it be coming from?
So that could be a conversation that this board has. We could pull it from our water and sewer fund. If it falls through the next fiscal year, we can pull it out of operating. If the board's considering pulling it out of our utility fund balance, we can always do that. Those conversations we can have at a later time. And they won't, depending on how they set up the structure, if they ask for it up front, if they ask for it over installments, regardless, if it's the full award, it would be $500,000 worth of work that the state would be paying for. So it would be a blessing that we've already taken advantage of. Does that answer your question?
Okay, all right, let's move on to other business, let's move on to the town manager's report, Charlie.
Sir, Mr. Mayor, I'll make it very brief. Just in the past couple months, some things that have happened. We were fortunate enough to go to the Department of Labor Safety Awards. The town received 3 gold awards, which we're very proud of, Police, Public Works, and Administration. It's a pretty prestigious award to have, so we went and we were recognized. That was a lot of fun. We got a nice little picture of all of us on our certificates. It was a great night. And then this one, honestly, is worth the clapping. So after 6 or 7 years, it would have been way before, I think me and my predecessor, the town was put on what's called the Unit Assistance List. So the Unit Assistance List, because of the way that the state of North Carolina is set up, if a city or municipality, if their finances are making a turn or in bad shape, the state has legislative authority with the treasurer's office to come in and say, you're on a watch list and you have to improve, or at some point the state can take over your municipality. We've been working diligently for the past 6 years. A lot of credit to my predecessor and the boards and this current board, and then my then continued and our amazing finance director's continued stewardship. We just found out this last month, based on our past basically 4 or 5 audits and our amazing transparency, openness, and fiscal stewardship and strength, that we are off of the unit assistance. There are, people all over the state that are getting put on it, but little old Raylo, we are coming off of it. So we are very, very proud of that. And that's not just like, that's based in metrics, that's based in data, that's based in history. That's not something we can just go tell somebody in Raleigh we want some help. That's data, that's proven, and that's something that we're very proud of. So we are off the unit assistance list, which is wonderful, wonderful stuff. That's all I got. Chiefs, do y'all want to take it from here? Oh yeah, sorry, we got a couple more things. Come up anyways. So the website is going amazing. The new updated website is going to be a lot more user friendly. We talked about a lot of that stuff. It's another one of the things that Commissioner Hill has kind of led the charge on. We had come up with a launch date of, September 14th. The new website will be up and it'll be running. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much better. I mean, amazing is a website yet, but it'll be wonderful. It'll be much more user friendly. We're thrilled about that. It's going to have a project tracker page where you can go in and see, oh, South Randall water line portion, here's the percentage through, and here's the next step, and oh, this project's in planning phase, and you get to see all the things that we're working on, and you can see exactly where it is. I always like selling Commissioner Hill's ideas, because I can sound smart, but it's all Commissioner Hill, this is all her wonderful ideas. So we're doing that, and then in the meantime, her and I will be talking about dusting off the 10-year strategic repaving and resurfacing plan that we kind of took a look at a couple months ago. We're going to re-advertise some of the old projects that we had put out for bid and didn't get any traction on for that Wilmot, Essen, Alpine, some of those areas. If you remember that kind of street repaving plan that we talked about probably a year ago, we're gonna dust that off and see if we can start making some motion with some repaving too. Again, all Commissioner Hill. And yeah, oh yeah, there's so many fun things going on. We also just found out from North Carolina League of Municipalities that they are going to get us a free, for us, at least for 3 years, cybersecurity commissioner consultant. So we will have a company that the League of Municipalities is going to be paying for 3 years. That's going to come handle all of our cybersecurity, data, multi-factor, all the different stuff that comes with making sure that we're safe in-house. So the League's going to pay for that for us for free. And at the end of those 3 years, we decide if we want to keep that service or not. But we're thankful to the League for providing that to us too. What about this commission? All the good. All right, Chief, take it away. Great day to be around.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The police department responded to 619 events in July. We issued 17 citations, 10 warning citations, we made 8 arrests. Some of those calls include 17 domestics, 6 breaking and enters, 2 overdoses, and there's other calls. We also had our national night out, which was really great. Had a good turnout, even though it rained, we was able to give all the kids a shower and some of the parents. So we still went through with it, had a good time, and was there the whole time. That's all I have.
It was a great night, and we had a good committee in the concession stand, and we stayed busy the whole time too.
Yes, ma'am. Again, thanks to the Potter's House for coming out helping us serve.
And Earl and his wife and sister-in-law, yeah, they did the hot dogs.
That's our PSP.
It wasn't waiting on the grill too? Cook some hot dogs?
I don't man, they got full up.
That's right.
That's right, he was there. And Matthew.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, citizens, Randall. Randall Fire Department responded to 22 EMS calls, 3 structure fires, 3 fire alarm, 8 motor vehicle accidents, 7 hazmat calls, 5 service calls, 7 good intent calls, 1 brush fire, 1 assist PD, for a total of 57 calls for the month. I'd like to brag on the community. I'd like to thank them for coming out and donating supplies on Saturday, October the 1st. Randall Fire Department was able to collect enough supplies to help Warden School and Brookside and a fellowship church as well that was helping out school. So I want to thank everybody who come out and donated for that. Talking with Chief Lunsford, we're going to try to get together with PD and Fire Department next year and make it bigger. And maybe try to do it at the National Night Out, something that we can push for. So that's something we're working towards together as well. Just a friendly reminder too, when the heat index is high, make sure y'all are staying hydrated, okay? Limit your outdoor activities during the peak heat times, and wear light clothing if possible, okay? Also, make sure we're checking on our elderly folks, okay? Checking on the kids, pregnant women as well, and anybody with chronic conditions. All right, so make sure we keep an eye on them. This heat really affects them. Some of the symptoms that you may see is watch out for heavy sweating, muscle cramps, dizziness, nausea, headaches, or weakness. If any of these conditions continue, seek medical attention immediately. Some of the symptoms worsen for heat stroke, confusion, no sweating, and high body temperature. So please keep that in mind during these high temperatures, okay? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Mayor, that's all.
Okay, just for my own knowledge, when is the highest number of fires that you have to respond to? What month would that be, December or what?
No, believe it or not, it's not. And this year we picked up. We've been busy with Lowell, and we have one here in Randall. Family come home, found it. We got there pretty quick. Was able to contain it in the room. So it's different times of year, believe it or not.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Okay, let's move on to item number 15, comments from the mayor. So, you know, I still in this, still in awe at what God is doing for Rambo. I still think we're on track for the new municipality building coming in, and the funding, you know, it seems promising, very promising. I think I talked to you before about actually talking to Mr. Moore about that, our congressman. So, they are aware we're gonna be putting in the, request for that funding. So we are actually we're gonna fund it. We know we're gonna fund it with a long-term loan in the beginning, but, but it looks promising that we're gonna be able to pay that off, fairly quickly. So, we won't say too much about it because I don't wanna disappoint you if it doesn't come in, but it does seem to be, promising. Other than that, I think, once we get that up, you know, what the plan is to obviously, make sure that Granville looks like it's open for business. God has blessed us with the new repaving of these roads. He's blessing us with getting the sidewalks up. The municipality is gonna make it look a whole lot better. And then once we get that municipality up, we'll start putting in some retail shops. You know, we'll actually start looking for some partnerships to actually get those retail shops in. So I think, and that is actually gonna give us, some of the funding that we don't have to ask for anybody, you know, going to the, to the senators and things of that nature, saying, hey, we need, more money. We're gonna continue to do that, but, we can generate some of our own funding. Still, we're gonna need to talk to, Mr. DeAvery, Charlie, about funding or about their ideas, for, possibly doing something with the old water plant, and that's another discussion that we're gonna need to have. And the whole objective here is to get more funding. So if we can do something with that water plant, that's gonna make more money, for the town to support our, employees and to support our future projects, then that's what we wanna do. Okay? So that's just my perspective, and I will, move on to item number 16, comments from the board. Let's start, last time I started on this end with Commissioner Hill.
I'm your mom, Charlie.
Commissioner Hill remembered that we needed to discuss tonight the top of the tower for town hall. I think I sent everybody a text and an email. There was option one, we put it on the screen before, I don't have it pulled up tonight. But the option one was just flat, option two was kind of a pitched roof, and option three was like a dome. Our architects are still looking for an answer from this board, and we did have, different answers come back through email, so if the board could instruct staff what the majority's favorite is, I'll tell our architects to move forward with that design.
I thought everybody put that in there.
Everybody was different, yeah.
Did we get
There were
all the
different answers, yeah, and not everybody answered, and there were different answers. So I wanted to, instead of me take liberties to say, this is what we want, I think the board should discuss here in an open setting and then see if we can get a majority on it.
Do you have, can you put a picture back?
Yeah, I don't have it pulled up, it'll take me a minute to get to it, but.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know you guys were trying to bring this up. I wouldn't have. Sorry about that, Charlie. Well, just give you guys a chance to take a look at it as well.
And everybody can continue their comments if you want to. I'll try to
You may have some ideas and input as well on this. This is, I know we want to hear from the board specifically. They're going to make the vote, but I like hearing from everybody on this one. It's going to be big for us to have a good-looking town to bring people in. I've actually talked to some of the business owners, just right out here on Ozark, and I've said this before, we talked about how much, they pay in rent. I own a business up in Charlotte, where I had a franchise where I taught kids how to do computer programming. It's called iCode, it was a franchise, I was a franchisee. So, and so I understand the cost, the overhead, right? So, one of the things that, if we're able to offer partnership, we can have the actual, buildings on on the Randlow land, right? And that will, we can actually help lower the cost and bring them into Randlow. Some of these buildings right out here on Ozark, and after talking to some of those business owners, it just, the money that they were paying was almost as much as what I was paying in Charlotte. They're paying like $4,500 a month. I'm not sure if they got CAM costs or not, but that's another charge on top of just for having lights out in the front. Those are the CAM costs, community area costs that they're talking about.
All right, here we go, man.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm just talking.
So I'm glad that I remember. So these were the options, and I'll show them a little bit bigger. When we originally discussed, well, when the board picked this layout for the new town hall police station, one of the things that Commissioner Hill brought up was, hey, instead of that flat roof, which was essentially what was originally pitched to us, well, could we do like a rotunda type thing, or even like a pitched roof? So what got brought before us, this was option one, this is how it originally looked. There's the perspective from Spencer Mountain Road if you're driving past Kingsway. And then if you're out front in what's gonna be like that little plaza kind of green space, there's the perspective if you're driving past it on Spencer Mountain Road. Option two has this pitched roof, same two perspectives, driving past it. And then option three, I'm lovingly calling the lighthouse. There it is. Right there. It looks cool. I do like it. So I think that's the other picture they have. So yeah, so there's the round type rotunda almost top. There's the pitched roof, and then there's the original flat roof design. We got different answers when I kind of did a straw poll, so I'm glad Commissioner Hill remembered. We talked about so many things, kind of went right through my brain there. The board could have a direction, I would appreciate it.
Okay, I vote number 3.
I vote number 3.
I vote number 2.
I voted number 2.
All right, I'm just curious. Just curious. Oh, yeah. Just what you get it. Thank you. Looks like too much hair. Oh, definitely too.
Okay.
It's true for that.
All right.
Yes. All right, did you have anything else? All right. Commissioner Locklear?
I'm good.
Commissioner Law? Mayor Pro Tem, we for last, we like to get, I'm just gonna say the best for last, not that she's bad. Mr. Doug, you have anything? No. All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
I'd like to say that I am so proud to know that here with the Gaston County Schools, I don't know if you all are aware, I am bad with names, but in the Mountain View neighborhood, we have the Melvin family. He is Levi Melvin. He has came and spoken here a couple of times. His wife did the first breast cancer support group here in Randlow. But I want to share the news that not only is this family, he lost his wife, but God is blessing in such a way that starting this school here now, his son will be the head basketball coach at Ashbrook High School, and his daughter is the head basketball coach at North Gaston High School.
Oh, wow.
Randlow.
All right, I make, do you have a motion to adjourn?
I make such a motion.
I'll second.
Pass. right, so it is, we adjourn.
What do you want to do?